Hello, everybody. As we discussed in our earlier session about mental health, we are going to discuss in this session as well, but with the definition of mental health according to the Public Health Agency of Canada. We're going to discuss about the definition of it. We're going to discuss about the related issues, or you can say the related disorders and the factors, social factors contributing to mental health. So let's begin with the what is mental health. According to the Public Health Agency of Canada, which we call PHAC, the definition is the capacity of each and all of us to feel, think, and act in ways that enhance our ability to enjoy life and deal with the challenges we face. It is a positive sense of emotional and spiritual well being that respects the importance of culture, equity, social justice, interconnection, and personal dignity. So, according to the Mental Health First Aid Canada, their definition is that whatever the thing we feel, our capacity to feel actually, our emotions, or thinking, or any ability to feel that positive sense or negative sense is mental health. Uh, let's talk about the social factors contributing to the mental health now. Experiencing poverty for a long period is the first factor of mental health. Stigma related to mental illness, lack of proper housing, immigration and settlement, discrimination, oppression, and racism, unemployment and or underemployment. It could be their parents, it could be themselves. Lack of education and childcare services, social isolation and withdrawal, and the last is bullying. So let's start with the poverty portion. So it's very clear when anybody or an individual under poverty living, they cannot bear their living cost, they cannot bear their food cost for a long period. It will affect their mental health. It's related to our physical health. If we are not eating healthy, if we are not receiving the healthy environment, of course we will get ill. Stigma related to the mental health. It's the one of the main factor that if we have any mental health conditions, you can say maybe depression or anxiety, and we are not taking care of it, we are not taking any medication for that, we are not seeing any counselor for that. And if there is a stigma that if we go to the mental health counselor or any person who can actually help us with that, the society will bully us. Society will tell us like, why are you going there? Is there anything underlying issue there? uh, Lack of proper housing. If a person is on the streets and they don't have a proper housing, maybe having issue with the rent, maybe having issue with the renting a house or apartment, of course there is a lot of stress there and a lot of anxiety over there. So because of that, people usually suffers from mental health diseases. Immigration and settlement. As we all know, immigration is not an easy process. Refugees who came from another country to another country, and under there are so many issues like why they are actually doing that. Like there could be anything, bombing, war, disease, poverty, or any other issue. Immigration is one of the biggest factor of mental health. Having settled down in another country is totally different for them. It's totally hard for them, as they need to start every single thing from scratch. Of course it's hard for anybody. Discrimination and oppression or racism. So 80% of the population experience discrimination, oppression, and racism in the world. And the reason could be anything. It should not be just because of the color, it should not be just because of the race, it should not be just because of the poor, rich, it could be anything. Maybe anybody is experiencing oppression or discrimination at their own family just because of the education, just because of the status. It affects our mental health as well. As we talked about, unemployment or underemployment of our parents can affect one's mental health as well, because if they are not working, it's very hard for them to earn money or earn bread and butter to their family. And now they are suffering with that. It will affect their children's mental health as well. Lack of education and child care services for children or parents is one of the biggest factor as well. If we are not really educated about our mental health, if we do not know how to maintain ourselves, it's going to affect us more. Social isolation and withdrawal. So as we say, social isolation is one of the factor as well, because if we are not going outside, not seeing people, not making our social connection with anybody, if we are withdrawing even from our family, that is the biggest contribution towards the mental health too. Because if we are not talking to anybody, we're gonna start zooming, we're gonna start keeping to ourselves, or if we want to say something to anybody and we are not saying anything, it will be in our mind forever. And then because we're going to stress about that, of course it's going to affect us. Bullying can affect one really at a great level. If we are bullying a person, or a person has been bullied in the school, or maybe in the college, that affects their mental health for a very long period. It's because not only they got bullied in the school, or it's because of whatever they have experienced there. It could be because of their body, it could be because of their mind, it could be because of their education, their status, it could be anything. And that lasts forever because the person started assuming that it's real, why people are saying that to me. So it's very important to be self-aware of ourselves and then contribute to not the factors, social factors that are actually having bad impact on our mental health, but to the good factors, good social factors that contribute to our good mental health to everybody. Let's talk about in another session about more disorders and more factors that can contribute to our mental health. Thank you so much for the time.